A few weeks ago, Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen received votes of confidence from John Mara. Essentially, barring unforeseen circumstances, the two would be back for the team in 2025. Those unforeseen circumstances, they are here. The Giants have devolved into a borderline embarrassment, with this 30-7 loss to the Buccaneers being a microcosm of everything that is wrong with this team right now. Defensively, they can't stop the pass, they can't rush the passer, they can't stop the run, they can't tackle. Offensively, Daboll thought that benching Daniel Jones and inserting Tommy DeVito into the lineup would provide this team a boost. There was no boost. This offense scored just 7 points and is averaging 14.8 points per game this season. That is not only last in the entire NFL. That number doesn't just seem low. It is the lowest mark in franchise history, tied for the lowest mark in franchise history with the 1979 Giants for any team that played at least 16 games. This team has regressed every single year under Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll. Now you have players in the locker room like Dexter Lawrence, Malik Neighbors, saying this team is soft. When Brian Burns was asked if the message from the coaching staff is still getting through, and Dexter Lawrence was asked if this team still has faith in their coaches, both players said, "I think so." You had Neighbors coming dangerously close to calling out the play calling. There are teams that turn it around, franchises that turn it around, but when a coach loses the locker room, that's it. And Daboll's grasp on this locker room, it is hanging on by a thread. Mara wants to stay the course. He wants to believe that Schoen and Daboll can turn it around. Right now, there is mounting evidence that that is not going to happen.
Here we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Deception and I talk about the New York Football Giants. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to check out this video. If you guys are new, consider going down below, hitting the like, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what your frustrations are about this team. If you aren't new here, then you probably weren't surprised about the outcome of this game, because I've been preaching and talking about this team and where the projection was inevitably going to be going for probably the last 2 months or 6-7 weeks. I started off the season very optimistic and wanted to hype up this team and wanting to push a belief in Brian Daboll, Joe Schoen, Daniel Jones, and that we were able to win because we had the horses to be able to do so. But that narrative ended long ago, because I know that this coaching staff isn't getting the most out of these players. They're not inspiring these players. They're not holding these players accountable. They're not teaching these players proper technique, and they're not implementing proper scheme. I opened up this video with a news clip from Connor Hughes from SNY, and he explained everything, my points, better than probably I could. I'm a little sick of tired of basically talking about the same things over and over again, because that's all there is to talk about this team, because nothing ever changes. And we're going to change some things up this episode, and instead of me going off and really rambling so much about everything that this team did wrong this game and the embarrassment it was to see Baker Mayfield do the Tommy DeVito, touchdown celebration, the players are frustrated. The media is frustrated. We have Mike Francesa talking about the Giants and the organization and where they're most likely going, and we have player interviews that players that are the best players on this team. We're talking about Malik Neighbors, we're talking about Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Darius Slayton, all giving their opinions about how they feel about the team and the head coach and the situation that they're currently in, and it's not positive at all. There's a cost to tanking. There's a cost to putting a gambling on your future at the expense of the players that are currently on your roster. They're seeing that. They're recognizing that. They're seeing moves like cutting Nick McLeod to save $1 million. They're seeing moves like benching Daniel Jones, who was, say what you want about Daniel Jones, he was the best quarterback on this team. And you could blame Joe Schoen for not bringing somebody else, and you can blame Brian Daboll for the good conversations that they have behind the scenes, and that seems like that's all we ever really hear about from him in his press conferences and interviews, is that him and Joe Schoen have a collaborative effort. They have good conversations behind the team. Everything is made in unison. All the decisions are made in unison. But these players have had enough, man. And like I said, there's a cost to tanking. There's a cost to selling your soul for something that might not even pan out. And they're feeling the ramifications of it because now everybody's calling for their head. Everybody's calling for their head. And when you have your best players on the team in post-game interviews in the locker room, fresh off the field, saying that, you know, basically saying that the team is playing soft, that's like the worst thing you could ever hear as a football player, is saying that you're soft. You have Malik Neighbors saying that it's not the quarterback. You know, the same problems that we had with Daniel Jones are the same problems that we're having now. And he said, you know, like the whole offense only having, you know, sub 50 yards in the whole first half. Malik Neighbors not getting a target in the first half. Losing this game 30-7, and it really shouldn't even have been that close because we only scored that last 7 points because the Bucs defense was essentially just playing prevent, and we're just trying to get us off we're just basically just run down the clock so that we were able to just go home. I'm going to play some of these interviews from players, from the media, and it sounds eerily similar to a other Giants team. Some of you might remember, some of you might not, but this comes from the 1992 Giants, coached by Ray Hanley, and you'll see some of their player interviews and basically the similarities between the 2024 Giants and the 1992 Giants. There's a disconnect, but let's get into some of these interviews.
Are you angry?
Extremely. We play soft, and they beat out of us today.
When you say you played soft or your ball club played soft, can you be more specific?
We missed a lot of tackles. We didn't contain Baker well in the scrambles. We didn't cover well. It's soft to me.
Yeah.
Are you kind of worried that, you know, it goes from bad to worse to really bad?
I sure hope not. I mean, yeah, I hope not.
I mean, do you have any sense that this team can put a couple of good performances out there down the next 6 weeks?
Yeah, we can if people start doing their job. But, I mean, it's like anything, bro. If you go out there and you don't do what you're supposed to do, then you get beat, and we collectively get beat.
What do you make out of coming off your bye week and being down 30-0 at home?
It's ass.
How do you guys...
Did you follow up on that? Did you make that known to guys? Like, did you say something afterwards?
I spoke my mind.
You want to expound on that anymore?
Not really.
Was that halftime or
Post game.
How do you...
how many guys spoke to the locker room after?
GVR was about to speak, and I started to talk, and that was pretty much it.
How unusual is that for you? You said before you're kind of not the rah-rah, yell and scream type of guy?
I'm not usually into the whole, motivational, like you just said, the rah-rah and all that. But if it's something that's been on my mind and on my heart, I'll say it.
How fed up are you with all this?
Just want to win, man. Like I said, I told the team, it's not, I'm not excluding myself from anybody. I said as a whole, everybody was bad today. And nobody got anything done, what we needed to get done. And we got a short week, and we need to get back to what we were doing. So when you see your
Go out there first, second quarter, don't get the ball, start getting targets at the end. I mean, can't do nothing. Start getting the ball when it's 30-0. What you want me to do?
Why in the first half are they not looking at you?
I don't know. Talk to Davis about that. Talk to Davis.
Did you say something to the coaches at halftime?
I mean, they know. They come up to me, ask me what plays I want. That was that. I mean, I don't know, man. It ain't the quarterback. Same outcome when we had DJ at quarterback. I mean, take a look. It ain't the quarterback.
So what do you think?
What is it? I don't know what it is.
Is it the play?
Everybody know better than me.
Is it the play call?
We'll take 3 more.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I know I'm tired of losing.
Whenever you step out there, did you see something like this kind of transpiring overall as the team today? Or it just seemed that things never got going until the game was really out of reach on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, but that's just a testament to the guys, especially the guys up front, everybody around us. Like, at certain points, scoreboard, it was 0-0. We're just going out and playing and trying to put our best football forward. Obviously, like I said before, we got going way too late, but it's there. It's there. We're able to go up and down the field. It's just those little things that just those little things just that bite you and just kill a drive and just don't allow you just to go down there and especially put points up on the board. It just needs to get nipped in the butt, and it will. It will. I know it's been a while, but it'll happen.
And then after the game, I wait for Dable, and Dable says, "Oh, we just didn't do well. We didn't coach well. We didn't play well." Really? How many times have we heard that this year? We didn't play good well enough. Starts with me. What is that? That's like the cleanser? Is that like all right, I just cleaned the area. I said that it was on me. So now we don't have to worry about anything else. What about the fact that you moved on from Dan Jones? We moved on. That's it. They moved on, and we all know why. Because he had a $23 million clause in his contract against injury. We understand that. It's happened before. It happened to Russell Wilson. It happened to Carr. It's going to happen to other quarterbacks. We understand that. That's what it is. But what do you think? The audience is stupid? You think the fans are stupid? They know why. They don't think that DeVito is better than Daniel Jones. Even though they don't think Daniel Jones is very good, they don't think DeVito is better.
Now, when you're hearing your players, like I said before, when you're hearing these players talk like this, openly and willingly, you're losing the locker room. When new players, like when rookies are coming in and they're seeing that the best players on the team are disrespectful to the coaching staff, when they're disregarding, basically the like, let's keep everything in-house kind of mentality. That's not a good culture. You're literally breeding a rebellion in the locker room. And it's only a matter of time before these guys get fired, and they should get fired. They should get fired because this is the mess that they put themselves into. There's a cost to everything. And you guys sold your soul, and this is the ramifications of it. You guys might tank. You guys might put Tommy DeVito in. We're going to lose the rest of these games, but you're not going to be the ones here in the positions to make the picks that you're tanking for, that you're ruining your fucking legacy for, that you're like any more coaching opportunities. Who's going to want to hire a coach that was this inept, that was this fucking clueless? Like I said, I was going to, and I'll leave you guys here on this because, like I said, this is a horse I've already beaten to death, and we're going to be on a short week. We're playing Dallas Thanksgiving on a national stage. John Mara, even though he already said that he's going to be keeping Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll for the foreseeable future, we've all known that he has a tendency to change his mind when things are at their worst. And I think if we get blown out by Dallas on Thanksgiving, that's going to be hard for John Mara to ignore. But let's take a trip down memory lane, take a look at this interview and this footage, and see how it relates to the current Giants, 2024. And I'll leave you guys here on that. And I appreciate you guys stopping in and taking a look at the channel. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
As for the rest of the Giants team, it seems the only thing the players and head coach have in common is the question of whether they're all on the same page.
As far as communication, as far as really knowing one another and believing in one another, I don't think we're on a strong page that way. We're holding together on a thin line. I mean, I wouldn't even know if Rod Rust was married or anything because I never sat down and had a talk with him like that.
At this point in time, I'm startled. I mean, I don't know what to think. There's some mistakes being made, and you don't know whether they're coaching mistakes or they're player-related mistakes, but they're mistakes. And the bottom line is the two aren't on the same page. That needs to happen.
When I think we aren't on the same page, if I do think that, I address it, yes.
So in your mind, you're satisfied with coaches and players being on the same page?
When I think that we need to get on the same page, I always address it.
Boy, the Giants, hopeless cause or correctable situation?
Greg, I would have said it's correctable early in the season, but my gosh, we're 10, 11 games into the season already, and so now you go back and you just say this. This is how you sum this up. The Giants don't like, the players don't like Ray Handley, he doesn't communicate. So, okay, so we get rid of the players, or we get rid of Ray Handley and we bring back the great communicator, Bill Parcells, and then they have one another. I just find it hard to believe that that's such a big deal. Give me a game plan, give me an opponent, and give me a Sunday game, and let me do my job. I've never seen people find so many excuses after every loss, you know? I mean, Ray Handley's a fine coach. Get rid of the players or bring back Parcells.